Hi everyone, I'm Law of the West, and this buyer's guide is going to be for the Mark II F7C-M Super Hornet. And this ship is supposed to be as close to military specs as a civilian craft of its size is going to get. It has 2 size 3 weapon mounts on a nose turret, 2 size 4 mounts on the wings, and 2 more size 3 mounts on a remote dorsal turret that can also fire 8 size 1 missiles. It also has 2 size 4 missile racks that have 4 size 2 missiles each, and it has a second seat for a co-pilot. This is a way for anyone who missed out on the F7A overdrive missions to be able to get a fully loaded Hornet that they can permanently add to their fleet of ships. Now, one thing that some people were curious about is that this ship isn't going to be replacing the Mark I. So if you already have one, then you're going to keep the Mark I version. And you'll still be able to see Mark I Hornets and Super Hornets flying around in the verse. Its nose is also a little bit longer than the Hornets, and the tail assembly is stretched out a little bit, but it should be able to land in all the same places that the other Hornets do. The Warbond price for the Mark II Super Hornet is $220, while the standalone price is $240. The ship is still one of the best medium-sized dogfighters that you could own. And the Super Hornet was the only ship that I had for nearly a decade, and I've been waiting for the Mark II version to come out for a long time. Another thing that I like about this ship is it has a co-pilot seat, and I found that having the ability to be able to transport another player has come in handy more than a few times over the years. And that's because during the course of your adventures, you're going to very often come across an org mate, friend, or even a random acquaintance that's going to need a ride. And they can act as your co-pilot, be a gunner for the dorsal turret, or just kick back and enjoy the view. And medium fighters are the perfect blend when it comes to maneuverability, firepower, and durability. And regardless of how it currently is or performs from build to build, the Hornet series is always going to be tuned so that it ends up being the brawler out of all the other medium fighters. And that's because it's going to be able to take a lot of damage and be able to give a lot back in return. The Super Hornet was also built to be the perfect choice for PvE missions, where you'll find yourself taking on a lot of small to medium-sized enemy ships at one time, pretty much like you end up doing in nearly every mission that has ship-to-ship combat. When compared to the Mark I Super Hornet, the Mark II has bigger weapons, more missiles, and an upgraded turret. And the Mark II has 3 small shields and 1 medium-sized power plant, while the Mark I has 2 shields and 1 small power plant. Looking at its stats, it seems that the Mark II is slightly slower in every category when it comes to its speed and maneuverability, but it seems to be on average a matter of around 10 or less points per category. It also has slightly less hit points than the Mark I, but all of its other stats are the same. So for a slight reduction in its overall handling and hit points, you get a lot more firepower, more shields, and a larger power supply. And that's going to be it for this buyer's guide for the Mark II F7C-M Super Hornet. I've been your host, Law of the West. Thanks for watching, and take care.